I think about the Supreme Court as this body that is so far away, but has so much impact on our everyday lives. All the things you laid out, the Supreme Court, at one point or another, decided in our humanity and legality in this country. We have a real opportunity to change the configuration of the least democratic body in our federal government. But oftentimes, people will tell us that the Supreme Court is not a political body, that there's nothing that we can do. That's not true. The forefathers, in some hindsight, decided that we, the people, get to decide how many people are on the Supreme Court. So we don't need a constitutional amendment to add seats. It would not be the first time we've added seats to the Supreme Court. In fact, during the Civil War, President Lincoln added seats to the Supreme Court because he could not have Southern sympathizers deciding on the legislation he needed to pass to hold our union together. So we are at a moment where we can really take the future of our democracy in our hands. Everything we've talked about, from voting rights, the Supreme Court stripped the last teeth of the Voting Rights Act. We're talking about working and living wages for folks. This Supreme Court has made it harder and harder for working people to stand up for themselves at the workplace. They've made it harder and harder for us to protect ourselves through a global pandemic. We can change that, and we can fight to change that. And at Demand Justice, we would love for you to join us in the fight to push our members of Congress to take a bold step in making our country more democratic by having a federal Supreme Court that represents the needs and the desires of the American people.